your duties, you may be required to use various pieces of equipment and electrical machinery such as trolleys, mops and buckets, vacuum cleaners, rotary machines or scrubber dryers. It's important when using any type of equipment that you make sure it's safe to use. Remember, only ever use machinery or equipment that you have been trained how to operate. Before you start work, make sure that you have all the equipment you'll need and that the correct colour code is used. Remember, wash your hands, put out your caution signs, put on your PPE and ventilate the area. Now, let's look at how to check the equipment and machinery. If the machinery is electrical, then each piece of equipment will display a PAT sticker. This will show two dates: the date the machine was tested and an expiry date, showing when the machine will need testing again. If this is past the expiry date, don't use the machine. Place a Do Not Use label on it and report to your line manager immediately. Please note, on battery-operated machinery, this will be on the charging unit. Check the machine casing for any damage, such as cracks. Check any wheels to make sure they are secure and free-moving. Check any plugs to make sure they are attached to the cable securely. The plug is complete with 3 pins, fuse and cover, and there are no visible signs of damage. Check all cables. This also includes extension leads for any breaks, kinks, snags or knots. Remember to fully extend the cable and always check from the machine to the plug. Check the cable is securely attached to the machine. Check any handles, ratchets and switches to make sure they're in full working order. Check any brushes, beater bars and attachments to make sure they're free from dirt and are in full working order. Check any filters to make sure they're clean, fitted correctly and there are no visible signs of damage. Check any waste bags to make sure they're present and are not full or split. Only hold the bag by the edge or seam to avoid potential injury from sharp items. On any type of wet machinery, such as a scrubber dryer, check the overflow float valve to make sure it is clean and free moving. If blades are fitted, check they're clean, not split and fitted correctly. On machines such as rotary machines or buffers, check the drive plate and locking mechanism for any signs of damage. Any damage to this part of the machine will not only cause it to not work properly, but also can be very dangerous. If the machine is fitted with a water tank, make sure it's clean and there are no visible signs of damage. If the machine is battery operated, you may need to check the battery's water level. If this is a sealed unit, this is not required. For this check, please refer to your line manager and manufacturer's instructions for guidance. If there are any faults or defects with your machine, make sure you put a Do Not Use label on it and report it to your line manager immediately. This safety check process should be repeated again after you have finished using the machine, as there may have been damage caused during use. After each use, machinery should be wiped down and stored safely in the designated storage area. Attachments such as pads and drive plates on rotary machines should be removed and stored, and all water tanks should be emptied and cleaned out. Cables should be wound and all extension leads removed. Under no circumstances should electrical equipment be stored by a water source such as a sink. Remember, whilst using any piece of equipment, your safety is our first priority. For other pieces of equipment such as buckets and trolleys, it's also important that you check for signs of damage. Make sure that the following are clean and securely attached: ringers, handles, wheels, doors and brakes. After each use, all equipment must be cleaned and stored away in a safe and appropriate manner. Ringers must be removed where possible from buckets and all parts thoroughly cleaned. All types of buckets should be cleaned and rinsed out, then stored upside down to allow a quicker drying process. At Interserve, there are 2 different types of cloths that we may issue to you: microfiber or disposable. Your line manager will let you know which type of cloth you're using. In line with our colour coding policy, you'll be given the colours of cloths that you will need to carry out your tasks. It's important that you use the correct cloths in the designated areas. Once you've completed your task, it's important that all cloths are washed out and left to air dry, ready for your next shift. During this process, you must not mix up the different coloured cloths. For example, red must be washed with red, blue with blue, and left to dry separately. Some of our contracts may have on-site laundering facilities. If so, then your cloths will be taken away to be washed there. It's important, however, that you remember under no circumstances must you take any cloths home with you to wash. This is to help eliminate the risk of transferring any germs from workplace to home. Remember, your safety is our first priority. I should carry out the necessary safety checks on my equipment and machinery A, B, C or D? The answer is C.